Let me tell you about ProHealthConnect.com. It's transforming healthcare payments, providing retailers a seamless process for over-the-counter and healthy benefit programs. By connecting retailers, health plans, and payment processors, ProHealth Connect creates one powerful, unified network. They empower independent grocers and pharmacies to accept health benefit cards without changing how they do business. With over 10,000 locations nationwide, helping more than 1.3 million people access the care and nutrition they need. Go to ProHealthConnect.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Dominic Carter here with you folks. Let me switch gears for a moment. So Matt Blaze and I'm going to bring him in now. We spoke yesterday about the three women at the Miami airport. They don't want to pay the baggage fee. They storm onto the plane. They don't want to get off the plane. Everybody's got to leave the plane. They end up getting arrested, right? So, I have the ability to listen, as you all do as well, to different radio stations in different markets and so on. So I want you folks to listen. Just bear with me for a minute here, and then I'm going to bring Matt Blaze in. Then I'm going to get your telephone calls. This is how an African-American radio station in Philadelphia, it's called Hot 1079. Actually, it's an Atlanta radio station, but I thought it was a Philly station. This is how they talked about it. I want you to listen how obviously they're trying to entertain you, but they're stepping around the issue in a nice way of the three women being women of color. And again, this is from a predominantly black station. Listen to this, folks.
In Miami, three Philadelphia women had somewhat of a situation, and I was like, all right, well, maybe it's not as bad as it seemed. Let's check in on a report real quick. Like, what airline was it?
Three women were arrested at Miami International Airport for refusing to leave a Frontier flight.
Oh, hell. Well, we start. Okay,
Frontier ain't that bad.
You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't that bad.
No.
This is just a small dispute. Like, what could this really be over?
Yeah.
During a dispute over an unpaid carry-on bag.
Oh.
So they didn't want to pay for the carry-on bag? You know on Frontier you got to pay for your
We know
bags.
Spirit and Frontier don't play that when it comes to the carry-on.
The only thing about this, right, when I'm thinking about the story, like, who's getting upset about that? We know, our people know. You go on Frontier, you got to pay for the bag, so it couldn't have been our people.
Authorities say Defesha Dockery, Deojana Cochran, and Devana Cochran.
They're white. They're white.
I know Devasha.
I know a white girl named Devasha.
You don't know the white
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh, my
Her daddy half black, though, but she white.
I still feel like they're exaggerating the story a little bit. I know they had a little dispute, but I'm sure they got off that plane peacefully.
Deputies say one woman spit on another passenger as they finally exited.
You know what? Throw the whole story out the window. I can't believe this. My Philly people acting up in Miami at the airport. They got arrested. Once they were removed from the jetway, a brief struggle ensued. They said Dockery escalated the situation by spitting on a Frontier employee. Now all three women are booked in the Turner Guilford Knight Correctional Facility on charges of trespassing and resisting arrest, with Dockery facing an additional battery charge for the spit. Oh, my God.
At least they're safe.
Are they?
Yeah, because, ain't nobody messing with them.
Lord Jesus.
Oh, my
Hey,
God.
them bags can get you mad, though. I ain't going to lie to you when you go to the gate. I'm just get you mad, especially if you feel like your bag fit. You can try to push it down. It's a fit.
But how far do you take it, right? They told them they had to pay for these bags. They pushed past the gate agents and went and took their seats and sat down and refused to get off the plane.
Now, me, I put on like 3 jackets and something around my waist, but I ain't about to run past.
You got to make them feel scared. I messed this whole place up.
They held up the flight for an hour.
So, Matt Blaze, they were trying to have some fun. That's a predominantly African-American station, right? Now, they are dancing around the issue while having fun, just like you and I were dancing around the issue last night here. What do you have to say?
Oh, obviously they were having fun with it when they said the names. And the girl
just like I said,
and the
who
girl
names
said,
their child those names?
And the girl said, "Oh, they're white." No, I know a white girl. But admitting that it's just, you can't do that. I mean, they were even saying it like they know you can't. There's that little size basket that you put your carry-on in, and if it doesn't fit, they're going to tell you got to pay. And I've seen videos like online on like YouTube of people taking their stuff and putting it in a garbage bag, and then so the garbage bag will fit in that little cubby or that little basket so it fits in. Because they'll take their suitcase and they'll throw it away, and they'll just take all their stuff and put it in a garbage bag so it can fit overhead. Because they don't want to pay. They'd rather do that. They'd rather throw their suitcase away that they paid for than pay the baggage fees.
But you see, so we were having fun with this, but in all seriousness, I make a connection that when you look at that type of dysfunction that happened at the Miami airport with these 3 brain surgeons, you put it all together, and it's what's wrong in society. And it's what leads to what happened in Brooklyn with this 7-month-old baby shot and killed in the head. Because too many people are making excuses, mostly Democrats, for this type of behavior. We'll let you have the final word before we go on to the next call.
Yeah, if they're willing to act up like that at the airport, where this is federal, you're getting charged federally for these federal crimes when it comes to the airport. And if they're willing to do that and act up at an airport, what do you think they're doing on the street? What are they doing in every day in your neighborhood? The disrespect. If they're willing to do this to airline and airline employees, what are they doing to the local shop owner?
Right. I'll just say this, a point I made earlier, Blaze. Can you imagine, news anchors sometimes, and I speak from experience, you don't get a chance to look at the copy. Sometimes you're reading the copy hot, of what a writer put in. You're reading it from the teleprompter. You're live on television. Can you imagine these anchors from the Midwest, from any market in the Midwest? They haven't interacted with many people of color, and they've got to read that story live with those names. Can you imagine how those anchors are tortured on live TV? Can you imagine that situation? Why are you turning beat red?
It's got to be spelled out phonetically. That's the only way. And I always say, listen, as being here and being on the radio and even as a DJ, and I'd ask somebody their name or even their last name, and I'd say, what's your name? And they'd say it to me, and they start spelling it out. And I go, no. I don't need you to spell it for me, because I will spell it in the way that I know how to say it. It doesn't matter how you actually spell it. And I say the same thing here all the time. It doesn't matter what we put on the paper, as long as whoever can read it and say it correctly. That's all that matters. Right.
So again, I'll repeat, anchors from the Midwest that grew up, not much experience of dealing with people with color, and you haven't even had a chance to look at the story, and you're reading it from the teleprompter, and you've got those 3 names.
What do you mean that's not a popular name in Lima, Ohio?
Makes you want to leave journalism having to read that story.
This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.